Hey, it's Gina at Tarot in Time. I'm here to give you a tarot and astrology reading for the month of July 2022. So we're trying a new format with the month ahead readings. Hopefully it'll be a little bit easier than the weekly readings. I'd love to hear from you if that's true. I'm open to ideas. So we'll give this a whirl. We're going to go ahead with the month ahead and then we'll throw in a mid-month reading also. So I'm here in my new home office and I'm excited to talk to you about the month of July. So we're in Cancer season. We've just moved through the summer solstice and we are ready to celebrate summer. So let's talk about what you need to know this month ahead. Thank you so much for letting me skip out last week. I had laryngitis. I'm hoping that I'm a little bit better. So let's see how we do. So we're going to break the month down into 4 weeks, even though I know it's a little bit longer than that. And we are going to break it down one by one, and then we'll go into a tarot reading and we'll break it down week by week for you also. Okay, so if you want to skip ahead to the tarot reading, go right ahead. They're time stamped below. If not, let's talk about July. So we start off the month. Let's kind of skip right to July 4th, okay, because we're all excited about it. The moon's going to be in Virgo on July 4th, and the sun is going to be in the sign of Cancer, and it's going to be together with this point in the chart. It's not a planet, but it's an important point called Lilith. And so Lilith, I think you've heard me talk about her before. The little bit I know about Lilith is that she was considered to be the first wife of Adam before Eve. And she did not like the idea of inequality, and she did not want to stand for it and did not want any part of it. And so she left and lived in the desert for the rest of her life. So interesting topic with so much going on in the world with women right now, and we're all feeling a little, we have a lot to say, let's put it like that. So that rightful rage of Lilith with that sun conjunct together, shining light on those things, those inequalities, those things that really can get us fired up. And we have to be careful this beginning of the month till about the 11th of July, that things can get fired up really easily, okay? There's a lot of things in the world to be fired up about. There's a lot of things right here in our own country to be fired up about. There is Mars, the planet of action, in the sign of Aries, making a square with the planet Pluto. Pluto, that rules death and rebirth and deep emotion and change. So this can get a little aggressive, right? Otherwise, it can help bring change in of how we take action. But most people, I gotta be honest, most people aren't doing their work, right? So when you've got this sun shining light on Lilith, the rightful rage, and you've got Mars making this aspect to Pluto, tempers can get flared. You gotta be careful. So I would choose really wisely where you spend your 4th of July, just choose wisely, okay? And be detailed. The moon will be in Virgo. Virgo likes details. And Virgo's ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication. So use your words wisely. Choose your surroundings, because Mercury does rule your environment. Choose them well so that you can have a happy, peaceful, healthy 4th of July. Now, Mars is going to leave the sign of Aries this first week. I think it's a couple days in, and it's going to go into the sign of Taurus. So that's going to help cool things down a little bit. That's actually going to happen on Tuesday the 5th, but the 4th is still going to be fiery. So as Mars enters Taurus, I don't think Taurus is really Mars' favorite place to be, because Mars wants to take action, wants to move forward, doesn't really want to think about things, wants to just go, right? And then we have Taurus moves slowly, it chooses wisely, it's about value, it's ruled by Venus, it rules relationships and women, it's a money sign, all those kind of things. So Mars, how we take action with things that are of long-term value. So, and also action in relationships, Venus sign. Okay, so let's just kind of take it cool, take it slow, let this Mars energy kind of settle into Taurus as the month goes on. So Mercury, the planet of communication, is going to leave the sign of Gemini this first week, and it's going to enter the sign of Cancer. So Mercury rules the sign Gemini, so it did really well in that sign. There was a lot of communication going on, a lot of information being brought to us. And now it's going to move into the sign of Cancer. Now the whole month is Cancer themes, right? Sun's in the sign of Cancer. So what are some things about Cancer? Well, Cancer rules the home. It rules the mother. It wants more than anything to feel safe. It's our inner parent, our internal parenting system. Has a lot to do with how we speak to ourselves. It's a lot to do with intuition. So we're really going to want to listen to our intuition. Now you hear me talking about intuition, and we usually kind of put our hands here, but we know that intuition can come up anywhere in our body, right? It also can come up in our dreams, can come up as dread. So let's honor those feelings. Let's play with that and see what is true, what's of value here. Okay, so there's kind of this playfulness to it. And there's a lot of joy themes also this month. So we've got Mercury going into Cancer. We'll have the Sun in Cancer. Venus is going to join us later. So Cancer, we want to make sure when Mercury's in Cancer, we're communicating with ourselves lovingly, like a gentle, kind parent. That we're listening to our emotions, that we're giving ourselves a chance to hear ourselves, and then a chance to share that with others, okay? This is a really great, nurturing, warm, lovely time if we allow it, okay? So the first week we end with the moon in Scorpio, and for some reason that just makes me really happy. Maybe it's all my Scorpio placements. So the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll have, Sunday morning the moon will move into Sagittarius, but Friday and Saturday, Scorpio does rule sex and deep emotion, right? So when used properly, it can be really enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to that first weekend in July. Now, the moon will be conjunct the South Node on Saturday, July 9th. And I find that interesting. I natally have my moon and my South Node together. And our South Node is said to be all our past lives, the cup kind of holding everything that's ever happened to us. And then our moon is that really intuitive part of us. The moon rules the sign Cancer. So there's a lot of things that are going to come up. There's a lot of old feelings that can come up. As soon as I jumped into doing a pre-reading before I got on this video, I had all this mom energy coming up. All these moms out there on the other side that really stepped right up as soon as I touched the cards. So they're there. They want you to feel them. They're right there for you. So with the moon and the South Node close together like that, there's a lot of intuitive information that's going to come in. There's a lot of past life stuff. There's a lot there. So sometimes that can come up as fears, right? We know safety is an issue with the Sun in Cancer. So kind of just pay attention. What's coming up? What clues are coming up, okay? And also, if you do have your mom on the other side, Saturday the 9th, it might be a good time to reach out and feel your way to your connection with your mom, okay? So let's move into the second week. The second week, we'll call it the 11th to the 17th. We have the Sun getting close to Mercury, the planet of communication, okay? So the Sun, the soul of us this season, shining brightly with Mercury, the planet of communication. And we're going to move into a full moon on week 2, and the full moon is going to be in the sign of Capricorn. So with Cancer is kind of the mother or the nurturing parent. Capricorn is considered the more disciplinarian parent, the little bit stronger. I'm always going like this when I'm talking about Saturn that rules Capricorn. Now, I think it's interesting with this full moon in Capricorn, it's going to be trine Uranus. Uranus is that lightning bolt, insight, genius, change, very cutting edge, humanitarian, very forward thinking energy, okay? So, and then on top of that, Saturn, the planet that rules Capricorn, is in retrograde. So I think this is a great time to start allowing things that aren't serving us to break apart, right? Those traditions, I think about your holiday traditions, your summer traditions. Those things need to be looked at. Are they still of value? Are they still working for us? What needs to be updated? What needs to change? With Saturn in retrograde, it's a really good time to get things looking at our routines, how we're parenting ourselves. There's parenting themes all over this month's reading, okay? So gently caring for ourselves, the babies that we are, right? I tell clients a lot to think of themselves as a baby they're in charge of taking care of, because you're not going to be mean to that baby, and you're going to let it take a nap, and you're going to feed it when it needs to. Okay, so big full moon, make sure you get your moon water out. I will be sending the forecast each week, and I'll remind you about the moon water. There's a video on YouTube if you want more information about making moon water. So on the 17th, Venus is going to leave the playful sign of Gemini and move into the sign of Cancer. Feels very romantic to me, very nurturing, very lovely. So I think there's going to be a lot of romance this month for sure. Now we have a lot of Pluto energy. Pluto is opposite the Sun and Mercury. So Pluto wants to bring change in how we communicate, how we show up, how we speak to ourselves, okay? And that kind of runs through almost the whole month, this Pluto energy. Across from the Sun and Mercury, and then at one point it's across from the Moon and the Sun as we move into later in the month. So there's just these themes of change in how we're speaking to ourselves, change in how we're nurturing ourselves, change in how we're showing up in the world. Okay, so week 3, the 18th through the 24th, 3 planets are going to be in Cancer. So we're moving closer towards the new moon. By the 3rd week, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus will all be in Cancer. So that's called a stellium. 3 or more planets in the same sign, 30% of our energy there. On the 18th, the moon will be conjunct Jupiter and Neptune's in retrograde. So what that tells me is that if you're feeling moody, Jupiter's going to make it bigger. Neptune's retrograde is going to help make things clearer. I'm new at learning about Neptune retrograde, but Neptune's usually foggy and deceiving and creative, but kind of an illusion. And in retrograde, we can start, that illusion almost starts to lift. So pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what you're starting to see, what things are starting to become clear to you now, okay? And really trust your intuition because it can be very strong. On the 20th, Pluto will be opposite the Sun and Mercury. We already talked about that. That's going to continue a lot through the month. Mercury is going to leave the sign Cancer and enter Leo. So it's like really short in the sign of Cancer. I guess that happens some months. And as you know, I call myself an astrology student because I'm still learning this. So this seemed a little fast, but that's the way it moves. So Mercury, the planet of communication, will leave the sign of Cancer and move into the powerful, bright sign of Leo. So Leo's very confident, and so there can be a lot of confidence in communication. Just being careful that we're not too self-centered, allowing other people to speak to. So we have a Chiron retrograde going on in the sign of Aries. That's going to be going on till December. I'm a little new at learning about these Chiron retrogrades, but I guess this has been going on for a while. I find it interesting because I natally have Chiron in Aries. So it's going to help with our healing because Chiron is the wounded healer. And Aries is associated with the term I am, right? So what needs to heal so that you can become who you want to become? So there's no rush with this. This will be going on for a while. Just pay attention and pay attention to what's coming up, what you're seeing, what you're feeling with your strong intuition, and the themes of nurturing, parenting, being kind to yourself. Now the sun is going to move into the sign of Leo on July 22nd. So it's going to be full on summer. The sun actually rules the sign Leo. It sounds fun to me. Okay, week 4, the 25th through the 31st. We'll have 4 planets in Cancer, and we're going to go into the new moon in Leo. So great time to make wishes, all about those things of the heart, because Leo's the heart chakra, right? What do we truly want? What makes us truly happy? And those are the things that I want you to be thinking about this new moon in Leo. The 29th, we'll have the moon conjunct Mercury. So it can get moody. We want to be careful with our words. We maybe want to spend some time alone a little bit and choose our words wisely. Leo likes to put a lot of attention onto themselves. That's what Leo does, right? Leo is a healthy ego. And so when it's in balance. So this might be a really good time to really take some time out for what you want to do and to really have a good conversation with yourself. Okay, so it looks like a very beautiful month. I hope that your circumstances where you're living allow you to savor this summer and to savor the joy that we have. And I know it's so easy to get caught up in the world events and caught up in the sadness. And with the sign of Cancer, we want everyone to be safe, and our mothering instincts kick in, and we want to help all the kids in the world. But I want you to make sure that you don't lose track on your own life and your own mission here. I've been talking with clients a lot about their North Node, their soul's mission, because you came here, you're on a mission. And when we get distracted, and I'm not saying that there's not a time to get distracted with what's going on, believe me, we need to mourn it, but we need to get back to the work that we came here to do, okay? So let's jump over towards the cards and see what you need to know this month ahead. So I'm going to use, I brought out this calendar. I love it. It's called the Magical Mystical Cats. And this is the July calendar. Isn't he cute? And so we'll use this calendar to throw some charms on later. We'll play with that for week by week. So we're going to do kind of a general overall what you need to know for the month, and we'll break down a reading week by week for you. And again, please, I'm open to feedback. I'd like to hear what you really like about the readings, what you would like to see, anything that you think might need to change. I'd appreciate it. Okay, so I used some hearts, these soapstone hearts from 10,000 Villages that we sell at our Kent store. And I thought that, I was thinking of Cancer, the home is where the heart is, and then moving into Leo season, which rules the heart chakra. So I thought these are really fun. So for pile number 1, you have this beautiful soapstone, black with a white sun. For pile 2, this one with these lizards, which is kind of fun, gecko. And pile 3, this beautiful red with black little suns. All right, pick your pile. Whichever one jumps out to you first, that's the right one. Let's get started. Pile number 1, your beautiful soapstone heart. Okay, let's see what you need to know this month ahead. We'll start with in general, and then we'll break it down week by week. And let's see what we got. We're starting off with the King of Cups. He would be a Cancer king on his throne here. This is the Witch's Tarot. And so he's got kind of a protection here from the water, not getting too caught up in all the emotion. The King of Cups is a great therapist, right? Great conversation, deep emotion, but also knowing when to step away and when to clear when to not take everything on. We have the Lovers card here in the heart position. Now we know the Lovers card is one of the cards of the year along with the Devil card because they equal the number 6. And 2022 also equals the number 6, numerology, year of moving forward. So we're here in the heart position with choices, right? The Lovers. Yes, it's love, but it's traditionally seen as Adam and Eve seen, right? And so we know that they rushed into things and didn't think things out. So we want to make sure that we're not so overwhelmed with the emotions, overwhelmed with the romance. We want to make sure that you think clearly. Take a deep breath. Here's the Fool card, supporting the heart. So, I love the Fool card, and I definitely get excited when I see the Fool card. But the shadow side of the Fool card is foolishness, right? So there's this message here of being not being too foolish in love or in choices or in relationships in general. The foundation card is a 6 of Pentacles. We talked about this being a 6 year. This is the Curious Creatures deck. I like this one. She's just like feeding the little chickadees pentacles, right? So there seems like there's a lot of plenty. There's a lot of moving forward. Behind the scenes, we have the 4 of Swords. I just think this is kind of an interesting card. She's kind of caught up in those 3 of Swords, but she's got some more swords going on there too. So kind of like, it's almost like it's coming in next to the Lovers card. So it's almost like trying to jump out of pain, just like into a new relationship so you can be out of pain. And sounds good, but it doesn't really work. Okay, so that's there in the background. Here's the Ace of Wands coming in next to this Fool card, both implying kind of getting on the road, getting out there, wanting to move forward. We know Mars has been in Aries. It wants to go, right? For some reason, I'm 2 cards short here. Oh, I think it's because I forgot to use my herbal tarot that I wanted to use. All right, let's pull 2 cards there. This is Michael Tierra's herbal tarot. It's a classic. I don't know all the plants, but that's okay. Your future position, we have the 3 of Pentacles. I like that he looks like he's flipping that pentacle like a pancake. I don't know this plant. Gentian? G-E-N-T-I-A-N. But anyhow, 3 of Pentacles is a grounding, earthy value card. And it's interesting how he's like lifting it up, almost like ready to like flip it over and see what's going on, see the full picture. And then you have the Hanged Man called the Suspended Person. And in this deck, it's the Kelp card. Now we know kelp is really high in minerals, used in a lot of Asian cooking, very, very high in minerals, really good for us. And so here he is being held, getting a different perspective on things. So all the cards here are kind of showing like a rushing energy, wanting to get on the road, get moving. And then the future position is saying, let's check it all out. Let's make sure things are as it seems, Neptune retrograde. And there's a little bit of a need to look at things from another perspective and to pause, okay? I feel like the Lovers is like, wants to go forward, and the Hanged Man is like, hold on a second. Okay, so that's your general reading. Now let's break it down into the weeks, okay? So we're gonna kind of do a week 1. So we're gonna go week 1. I'm gonna work with a couple decks here. This is your week 1. We'll go week 2. I'm working with the Curious Creatures. I talked about the Witches Tarot here. I also have the Wizards. And week 3, and then we'll pull 2 for week 4. All right, so starting off the week, we've got the 9 of Swords. This is Valerian root. Okay, this is overthinking, not sleeping, worrying. Valerian's often used to get to sleep. And you've got the Page of Cups. This is an interesting Page of Cups from the Curious Creatures. Her cup has a person, almost looks like they're in their bathing suit, and they're holding this big love sign. Okay, so there's something like, it looks like you have love on your mind, love on the brain, and there's some worries there, and you really need to get a good night's sleep, okay? You need to be thinking clearly. We already know that there's a tendency here for you to rush ahead, so you don't want to rush ahead when you're not thinking clearly, okay? There's a lot of over worrying. So Page of Cups is a great card, great message for go take a swim, go clear away some of that energy. Water is a great clearing tool. And so that could be good therapy for you. There's very romantic energy starting off the week ahead. Your second week, number 2, your full moon in Capricorn week, and you have the 7 of Pentacles. 7 being your spiritual path. Pentacles being anything of value, really associated with Capricorn. Capricorn would be considered like a pentacle sign. So kind of observing, watching what's growing. And your second card is the Death card. Okay, so there's some big changes coming in. Now we know that that's Pluto, and we saw that Pluto was making a lot of oppositions to the sun. So there's things that you're going to see. Sun is shining brightly, and Pluto across from it. There's things you're going to hear because Mercury's there with the sun. There's information that may be delivered. That Neptune retrograde, it's almost like information, all of a sudden the clouds clear and you can see clearly. And there's some changes. There's some big changes. Pluto wants to bring you change for good. Okay, so let's pay attention to what's coming up week 2, especially if it has to do with work, okay, because it's Capricorn, or if it has to do with traditions, because Capricorn is like long-term standing. It's your family. It's your foundation of your life. But a lot of times people just think of Capricorn as work. So there's some changes happening there. I like how this one sunflower is much taller than the others. It's really standing out. Okay, week 3, as Mercury leaves Cancer and enters Leo, and then the sun is going to move into Leo that week, we have the 9 of Swords again. This is a different version, okay? So this was the first version. This is the second one. Okay, so you're gonna really wanna do some work on how to get the rest you need. So if you have insomnia, if you're just overthinking, if you're feeling anxiety and over worried, it's there. We all go through it sometimes. This is a good time for you to really thinking about nurturing yourself, right? Cancer. I think of Cancer as baths. I think of Cancer as enjoying the home and all the beautiful meals that can be cooked at home. And then this week, the sun will move into Leo, that 3rd week. So Leo is such joy and such playfulness, and it's hard to have that joy if you're feeling anxious or not getting the rest you need. So maybe Valerian is something that you want to try. I'm not, you have to do your medical research. Does that work for you? What can you do to help yourself get the rest that you need? You've got 7 of Wands here, kind of waving at you. And fire, 7 of Fire. And I almost feel like mom energy here. She's like, hey, here you are. Hi. So how did your mom nurture you? Did it work for you? If not, how can you do that for yourself now? Okay, we know that Chiron is retrograded in Aries. Chiron, the soul's wound. Aries, our childhood, right? So even our parents with the best of intentions might not have been able to satisfy all the needs and wants that we had. So now we have to start to do that for ourselves, okay? So it's almost like mom says hi, there she is. Maybe you're having intense dreams. Maybe that's why the Nine of Swords keeps coming up. Maybe you're receiving messages, but it just, in a way, it's like, if it's making you uncomfortable, then it needs to be cleared. Now, week 4 with the new moon in Leo, you've got the Hanged Man. This is your second Hanged Man. He almost looks like he's dressed for work, right? There's a need to take a break. Hopefully you can have a vacation over the summer. There's a pause. There's like you need an inversion. You need a nap. You need that pause. If you don't take it, you're going to get it one way or the other. Sometimes I think that when we don't take it is when the colds come in and the things that stop us, right? To slow us down, to show us that we have to take care of ourselves. And the Chariot. It's also a 7. You had a couple 7s going on here. It's ruled by the moon. It's full speed ahead. It's a very interesting version of the Chariot. This is from the Wizard's Tarot. So it's kind of like the Hanged Man is like the divine delay, and the Chariot is like overcoming obstacles and wanting to move forward. So there's this push and this pull. You need to do both, okay? Rest up and then move forward and move ahead, okay? So I'm going to use a couple oracles. I'm going to use some dice. Start with the dice. You've got Mars in Taurus in the 5th house. Okay, so we know Mars is going to move into Taurus this month. The 5th house is Leo's house. So Mars taking action, Taurus, what's of value? And 5th house is the house of fun. It's Leo, it's the heart. So making sure that that you're doing, where you're putting your energy is still of value to you. That still works for you. And I think this has a work theme to it. 5th house, joy, right? Making sure that you're not leaving the joy out. Okay, so let's move these cards over here. I'm trying to get used to my new format, my new space here. I'm gonna pull a couple oracles. Anything, what do you need to know this month ahead? This is the relative oracle. Delusion. Camouflage. Snake charmer. Interesting. Delusion feels so like Neptune, right? And Neptune in retrograde. So it's almost like we'll be able to start to see out of that delusion. Now, there was a lot of love theme here of like jumping into things or not thinking and kind of just going with what sounds fun. And there's a need for a pause, right? And not to be too clouded with delusion. There's also got this camouflage card, which is interesting because it kind of goes along with the delusion. Like you're going to start to be able to see what's underneath that. And we got Snake Charmer, which I think is one of the coolest cards. And it feels very Scorpio to me. There's a lot of charm here, and there's a lot of like romance, and there's a lot of, it just feels like romantic, but like not really grounded. So there's that theme with love, and then there's this bit of not getting enough rest or maybe really having intense dreams. But I want you to really trust your intuition so you know when things feel a little off and you feel like you're missing information, or when you have snakes around, right? You want to be able to really see clearly, and you're going to feel it through your intuition, okay? So I want to do a self-care oracle for you. I've got this beautiful self-care because with Cancer theme, we definitely need to care for ourselves. So let's see what you got for your self-care. And then we'll do some charms on our calendar here. swatch a few. I'm gonna do a couple more. And I've got some letters, and we're gonna look for names and initials and all that good stuff. Okay, so start off with your self-care oracle. Make a meal. Well, that feels very Cancer-like, right? Cancer rules the home, the mother. It's like cooking and all that kind of stuff. Make a beautiful meal. Have some joys in that. Savor that. Savor the summer's harvest. Okay, over on our calendar, we have the word felt, and that started up at the top of the calendar. We have an umbrella and a fox. I have the word her with a unicorn and a crown and the number 34. So up kind of at the top of the calendar, the word her, it's interesting and just feeling so much mom vibes. Now we've got this moose little button that fell on the 13th of July, which is a Wednesday. And I think of a moose as like so, I associate it with the divine feminine, but that's just me. I've got this dog tags on the 14th and the word royalty falling out here on the 21st of July. You've got the tree of life here on the 19th and just a circle here on the bottom. So lots of feminine energy, regal energy with a crown and royalty. The moose being this huge creature, but like, I don't know, I just feel like this gentleness. They're vegetarians. So lots of Cancer-y vibes all over your month of July. Okay, let's see what we have for words. I'll take a picture. Have a great month ahead. Thanks for joining me. Pile number 2. It's beautiful soapstone heart. Okay, let's see what you need to know. We're going to start off with a general overall, what you need to know this month ahead. Then we'll break it down week by week, and then we'll do some charms and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's see what we have starting you off. Ooh, you're starting off with the Magician. That's one of my favorite cards. Okay, so this is associated with the sign Scorpio, ruled by the planet Pluto. It's also co-ruled by the planet Mars. So we know there's a lot of Mars action this month. We also know there's a lot of Pluto action this month. So this very much sums up this month of July, right? So the Magician, anything and everything is possible. He has all the tools to create what he wants. And he really runs on intuition because he's a feeler. It's watery energy. And so I love all the roses up on the top. Making the magic, trusting, using this month to really start trusting your intuition, playing with it. Maybe in some small circumstances, seeing how you can trust it more, checking in to see what you feel. Okay, sometimes, like I said, intuition can come up as pain. It can come up as dread. You think about dread and it's like, what is it? Maybe it's not just us being difficult. Maybe dread is because we know that there's something not there for us, something that doesn't align for us, right? So also the sign of Cancer this month, Cancer wants to feel safe, and it's very much going to pick up the energy of the room. So you want to choose your surroundings very carefully. Let's see what the heart of the matter is here. We have the 6 of Pentacles. It's the Hops card in the Herbal Tarot. There's some financial exchange going on here. Hops is used in a lot of like sleep. It's an ingredient in a lot of of the calming blends. So there's something of value being traded here, like you're receiving monies. And the Magician, Scorpio does rule other people's money, and the 6 of Pentacles, you're receiving something of value in the heart position of the reading. And it's a 6 year, so this is happening now, moving forward. The Five of Wands supporting the heart of the matter. It's like a lot of superheroes. Five of Wands can often be, a card of confrontation. There's like a duel going on there. And so you want to be careful this month. We know there's a lot of Pluto. We know there's a lot of Mars. Let's not get into it with people, especially over money, especially over work, especially over almost like our products. Let's keep it simple. Let's choose joy. Your foundation card, speaking of joy, is the Three of Cups. Very beautiful. By this waterfall, we know that waterfalls let off negative ions that make us feel good, right? Scientists say that negative ions make us feel good. And when we burn sage, we're letting, that's negative ions. So there's something here, gathering together, choosing your people wisely. This group of women, there's a lot of women energy this month with the sign Cancer. That's the mother, right? They're interesting. Okay, so you're topped with the Magician. Three of Cups is your foundation, making sure that you choose your people around you wisely. Behind the scenes, we have the Five of Cups. So it's a little emotional. Okay, we saw a lot, Pluto can be moody. There's a lot of moods. There's just a lot. And we have to choose love, and we want to choose joy of the heart. Okay. The Seven of Cups, which is a little cloudy there, but there's a lot of choices. This is juniper berry. Isn't that what they make gin out of, juniper berries? So there's a lot of choices. I love the smell of juniper essential oil. It's really good to help you sleep. It's really good for overcoming fear. Okay, so this is in the background, all these choices, this fogginess, coming in next to this Five of Wands. So yes, it's going to be emotional, bottom line. Know it, prepare for it, and allow it to a point that you're in touch with your feelings, but then not dwelling in it. Future position, we have the Fool from Curious Creatures. That leap of faith. And the Ace of Pentacles. So this is card number 0, what the whole tarot deck is about, the Fool's Journey. And this is a 1, this beautiful path, this archway of flowers. So there's something really, your future position looks great. There may be some changes coming in on how you're making money. Maybe this is a time that you have to make a leap of faith, but you're moving into this new, it might be unknown, but it's beautiful. So I don't know if you're having power struggles at work, feeling frustrated about it. This Saturn retrograde wants you to look at those routines, look at your relationship with money, look at your relationship with your work. What is it still working for you? What needs to change? Okay. And so we've got some fresh energy coming in here for your future position. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to leave this here, but we're going to pull a few cards for week by week. Okay. So I'm going to pull 2 cards for each week, and we'll see what you need to know. Then we'll do some charms and some letters and all that good stuff. Working with a couple different decks here. I've got the Wizards, the Curious Creatures, the Herbal, and I think I have the Witches, and a couple Oracle cards too that we'll work with. All right, so overall themes, the Magician, anything and everything is possible. Something in your heart is looking for maybe a more relaxing way to make money. Maybe you're sick of the grind and the power struggle, and you really want to choose your environment wisely. Let me get one more here. Okay, so let's go week by week. So we're talking about the first week, where we know that Mars is going to leave Aries. We know it's going to be a Scorpio weekend. We have 4th of July, and you have the 2 of Swords. So 2 is in relationship. Swords is air energy, the mind. She's kind of got her eyes covered, so she has to go by more than just what she sees. Okay, I love that she's by the beach. And so this relationship with yourself, this relationship with your thoughts, with how you're speaking to yourself, very important right now as we go through this season of nurturing, of reparenting ourselves. Here's the Queen of Wands. She's a dynamite creature. Okay, so she's a fiery queen, ready to move ahead, ready for some travel. Almost implying that I see ocean and travel there. So I hope that your first week, maybe you're taking a vacation, or maybe you're just taking some quiet time. Maybe you're just gonna go to a local pond or something and swim. Something where you get that time for yourself. Now, week 2, as we move into the full moon in Capricorn, we know Venus is gonna enter the sign of Cancer. You have the 10 of Wands. This is an interesting 10 of Wands. He has his wisdom. It's all lit up. 10 has reached its highest point, going into a new phase. Almost looks like the father, the elder. And that's so related to the sign Capricorn, right? Let's see what your second card is. The Ace of Swords. So there may, oh, interesting. So this was a 10 and this is a 1. So in numerology, we call a 10 a 1. So there's something shifting here. There's a new way of thinking coming in. Again, there may be traditions. There may be things that you've done with your family over time that you're getting ready to make some changes. Maybe you have a new thought about it. Maybe you have some new ideas. Okay, that's very much lines up with the Saturn retrograde, with the Neptune retrograde, because Neptune rules anything that takes you away from society. So in a way, a vacation could be associated with that. So maybe there's some changes on how you're spending your summers, where you're gonna spend your time. Okay, week number 3, we know that Mercury is going to go into Leo. We have the sun moving into Leo, and let's see what we've got. You've got the 6 of Cups. It almost looks like a mother and son. A lot of mom energy going on. Almost has some general store vibes. Kind of reminds me of our store a little bit in Kent. So here's this cup. There's this exchange going on, exchange of emotion. Let's see what we have for your second card. We have the Page of Wands, another child here. These are 2 different decks, but it's kind of waving at you. Page of Wands, he's young. He wants to go for what is exciting, what he wants to do. He's got his cat with him down here on the journey, very Leo. So there's kind of there's these themes here of what is it that you want? What is it that your family wants? Well, these old ways of being, these new ways of thinking, these new adventures coming up. Now, week 4 is the new moon in Leo. So let's see what we have here. You have the 4 of Wands. Almost looks like going to a wedding. Maybe you have a wedding coming up that week. And the Page of Wands again. This is from the Herbal Tarot. And this says shepherd's purse is the plan. And he is just looking out on his adventure. So these are the same card, different decks. And they came up both weeks in a row, that there's this childlike desire to go, to do, to see, and kind of some fun going on too, celebrations. So yeah, I definitely see a theme here of celebrations, of new ways, of gathering with people that you love, with things kind of showing themselves to you, with you trusting your gut feeling about what works for you and what doesn't, especially when it comes to things of value, like your work, your job, where you're putting your energy. Allow any information that you need to be presented to you, to show itself to you, okay? So I'm gonna roll some dice. And you've got Saturn in Aries in the 10th house. Okay, so kind of solidifying what I was saying about Saturn is family traditions, it's work, it's all those things of structure and things you may have done over time. Aries is new, right? It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's I am. It's so is this what I want to be doing? And 10th house is Saturn's house. So you kind of roll double Saturn here. It can be work related, but there's something new. There's a new energy coming in. So let's see. We're going to do a couple oracles. I have the relative oracle here. We'll pull a couple of those. Just kind of straight across the board for the month. Then we're going to do what is this called? Self-care oracle. It is Cancer season for most of the month. Cancer is all about nurturing. So this is how to nurture yourself card. I'm going to do, I think I showed you my calendar. Isn't it cute? I love this cat. This is such a beautiful calendar with all these black cats on it. So I'm going to throw some charms onto this calendar. See what lands on what day. And some letters. All right, well, the first thing that came out is the letter, name Ed, E-D. So we've got a bunch of stuff going on, kind of more towards the top half of the calendar. We've got an anchor, maybe you're going out on a boat. We've got double trees and a sun and a star, music. We've got this airplane, so maybe you're flying somewhere. That landed on the 4th of July, actually. Looks like there's a lot of activity between the 4th, 5th, 6th, that whole week. We've got this little frying pan, so maybe you're doing some really nice cooking this week, or there's nothing like summertime cooking to me. I love all the fresh vegetables. I love cooking them up like in a cast iron pan. And so here's your cute little cast iron pan that fell on the 6th. We have this heart on the 7th. I had this little like Mary symbol, and now I think it was way up on top. Okay, we've got another anchor. We've got a castle. On the 15th of July, you got a big smiley face and then this spider. And the spider kind of reminds me of the Black Widow, which is the high priestess in the animal totem. So that could be the 15th of July. Maybe you're spending time with a very powerful woman, or maybe a mother-like figure, or maybe your mother on the 15th, but it's landed on a big smiley face. So it looks like a good day for you. On the 20th of July, why am I saying October? 20th of July, you've got another anchor. So it's almost like groundingness. Like I think of Saturn as like that grounding anchor, but it also could just be that you're out in a boat, and I hope that that's true. And we've got a little dog tag thing here on the 20th also. The letter E fell on the 21st of July along with this bumblebee. Okay, and then this other symbol for Mother Mary fell out on the 24th. Divine Feminine on the 24th. Looks like you have a very busy beginning of the month, gets a little quieter towards the last week. Okay, let's see what we have. I'm gonna do some of these letters up here, looking for names, looking for initials, any words. I have the word scene, S-C-E-N-E, is that right? Like a scene of a play. All right, what else? I've got a Q, put that to the side. I've got the word God or good, all right? Good scene. I've got the initials PA, Pennsylvania. And I have a blank one here. What can I do with that? I can spell the name Bree. And I have the letter H, so I'm going to put that with Q, Q-H, good scene, Pennsylvania, Bree. The letter D-E came up first. I was seeing that as Ed. Could also be the symbol for Delaware. Okay, I'm going to take a picture of that for you. Let's look at your oracle cards. Oh, the Eiffel Tower fell out too. And it actually went off the calendar and fell on the 6 of Cups, the one here with the mom and the son. Okay. All right, let's see what you have here for oracles. You have civil servant, giving something back maybe to your community. Also looks like he could be like writing a parking ticket. So be careful where you're parking when you're out and about. Have the word comedy, tragedy. So it looks like there's some theatrics going on. Feels very Leo-like. And martyrdom. Okay. So wanting to be of service without giving everything, right? Now let's see what your self-care card is. You have pleasure. Well, lucky you. Okay. So this is a good month for you to really think about what brings you pleasure, to really look at what you've been kind of tied to in the past, how you're tied to work maybe that you don't want to be doing, or some traditions that maybe you don't want to be doing. And this is time for you to really take that leap of faith forward to make the changes that you want. The good scene, the what is healthy for you, what makes you feel good. And a lot of times it's really simple things. All right, so I think that was everything. Have a great week ahead, or great month ahead. Pile number 3, this beautiful soapstone heart. Okay, let's see what you need to know this month ahead. We're going to start off with the month ahead reading. We'll break it down week by week. We'll do some charms and all that good stuff too. All right, let's see what we're starting off with. Justice from the Witch's Tarot. Libra card, ruled by the planet Venus. Rules balance, relationships. It's related to the 7th house in astrology, which is the house of relationships. All right, let's see what we've got in the heart position. The Star. This is from the Herbal Tarot. This plant is skullcap. The Star, this beautiful Aquarian energy reflecting in your heart position here. Okay, and so really Aquarians, I do believe she's pouring ether here. So a lot of people think that Aquarius is an air or a water sign, but it's really an air sign. Okay, coming here to learn about emotions. This is a good month to learn about it. This watery energy of Cancer, and then a lot of planets in Cancer also. We have the Emperor supporting the heart of the matter. Interesting that you have 3 major arcanas to start off here. Major arcanas, major secrets of life cards, right? This is what the whole tarot deck is really about. Learn these teachers here. The Fool meets these teachers to learn these really important parts of life. The kind of themes that will repeat until we get them down, right? So the Star there, cutting edge energy, genius energy, rules friends, rules large groups of people. Your first card that presented was Justice, that rules relationships, trying to find that balance. And then here's the Emperor. Interesting how he's all like with his armor on, yet the children are playing. It's almost like he can't relax enough to enjoy the children playing. Your foundation card is a 7 of Cups. All these choices, everything's not really clear yet. It's coming in on your foundation. Behind the scenes, we have the 9 of Swords. She looks a little nervous. This is often called the insomnia card. This is a little different version of it though. Interesting that she's kind of lost a feather back there. I'm almost like getting the vibe that like you're so used to being in work mode that you don't really know how to relax. Relaxing into the moments, the intimate moments, the family moments, with enjoying the children moments. Feels like you're kind of like on guard. The Three of Wands, saffron, nice spicy saffron. And so Three of Wands is kind of like thinking, looking forward, moving ahead. Ship is coming in. I think saffron's kind of expensive, I do believe. So that's behind the scenes. Okay, let's see what's in your future position. The Two of Wands. Also, your ships are coming in this one. So you've got these things coming towards you. I love that expression. Your ship is coming in. This is Two of Wands. This is Two of Fire, Two of Passion, Two of Desire. Though he's very busy reading. Maybe that's what's passionate to him. But you don't want to be so, I almost get the impression like on the internet, doing your work, so into that you miss this opportunity. So it's like almost like taking off the armor, settling in more, enjoying the moment. And here's Justice again. Your second Justice card. This is the Curious Creatures. Trying to find that balance between all this work, all this responsibility, and then going into this summer season where a lot of people are vacationing. Kind of getting like this distraction vibe. There's a lot to oversee. There's a lot of things on your mind. Maybe there's some work trips you need to take. But I kind of feel like you're missing intimate moments. This one really makes me feel that way, which isn't usually what Nine of Swords makes me feel like. It's almost like she's like wrapped in a blanket, like nude, but like wrapped in the blanket, like holding on, wanting to feel safe. Cancer season, wanting to feel safe, okay? So trying to find that balance, which I gotta tell you, I don't think it exists. It's always in motion. Finding the balance in our relationships, finding the balance in your own relationship with yourself. There's almost a need to always stay busy here, and really what you need is just some good old-fashioned relaxation. Let me pull a couple more cards just in case. I want to see if that was the gist of it. Oh, I've got three coming out here. I've got the Three of Wands. That's the second time we've got it. The Two of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. So Three of Wands, this is an interesting version because usually it's a really exciting card of forward movement, but he like looks like he's kind of bored maybe, still at work. Two of Cups. There's this opportunity to connect. And the Seven of Pentacles, all these options. Kind of reminds me of the Seven of Cups. Okay, there's like a formula here. And so finding the right balance, making sure that you're getting out of the, not constantly working, taking some time. But when you take the time, trying to make sure you're present in the time and not just completely distracted, because then is it really worth it? Okay, so let's talk. I'm going to pull first card I'm going to pull is a self-care oracle, just to see how you can relax, what would be good things for you to do to just have more playful energy. So I'm going to pull two of those for you. Well, let's see, there it is. And you've got sound healing, which is so beautiful, so relaxing. It's like you need that meditative state, but like it's going to be too hard for you to just go from like work into like sit and meditate. I think you need something softer. And so some beautiful sound healing, if there's something nearby that you can go to, it's so beautiful to hear that live. If not, there's so many YouTube videos. Just do something healing, and the vibration of it can help shift some things in you. Sing. Just sing. You need some sound. I think the vibration is going to help shift some things in you. Okay? So play some music, sing out loud, do what brings you some joy. We are going into Leo season by the end of the month, so it's all about joy. Okay, so let's do a few more things here. We're going to go week by week now, okay? So we're gonna break it down into 4 weeks. Let's see what you need to know each week. We're gonna do 2 cards. And bear with me here as I pick these for you. I want to use a few different decks. I have the Curious Creatures, the Wizards, the Herbal, what else? The Witches. Oh, that one wants to come out. And one more. Okay, so let's start with week number 1. 4th of July week, okay? We know that it's going to be a Scorpio weekend that week. We know that Mars is going to leave its own sign of Aries and go into Taurus. So let's see what you need to know. Wow, you got Justice again. This is your 3rd Justice card. Look at that one. It's really beautiful. And the plant is plantain. Justice. All right, we got a theme here. You got it 3 times. Let's see how many more times you can get it. So Justice is ruled by Venus, and we know that next week Venus will leave Gemini and enter Cancer. So there's a real softness coming in of caring for ourselves. What joy can we bring for ourselves? How can we soothe and parent ourselves? Finding that balance. Here's the 7 of Cups where he's like, how do I find that balance? What really does satisfy me? Is it that the dog bone up here that used to always satisfy me, or have my needs changed? 7 of Cups. You had that as your foundation card in the main reading here. This one, same card. Okay, you have options. At least you have options. Okay, week 2, full moon in Capricorn. Venus entering Cancer. Let's see what you need to know. It's the 4 of Wands. This is an interesting 4 of Wands. It's almost like your mother's talking to you, telling you exactly where to go and how to do it. You want to be careful for how you're talking to yourself, or if some of what you're saying to yourself is old things that you heard as a child, right? So really paying attention to the inner voice right now. The 8 of Cups. It's like she's walking away from these cups, but they're like she's still connected to them. Okay, so just because you think maybe, oh, well, I'm not around those people anymore, or I used to think like that, it's still kind of being pulled with you. So that full moon in Capricorn, maybe you can celebrate your successes and congratulate yourself on all the hard work that you've done, but really take a peek at what things need to end with that full moon, okay? And some of it's the self-talk, the harsh self-talk. Week 3, when the sun enters Leo, when Mercury goes into the sign of Leo also, you've got the 8 of Swords, a lot of overthinking. Everything seems fine, but they're feeling a little bound to the thoughts. 6 of Pentacles, some kind of, looks like you're giving your kids money, right? Maybe you're worried about the money you've been spending, that kind of stuff, all that human stuff. So remember, the sun moving into the sign of Leo, Leo does rule children, but it also rules the joy of the heart. Okay, so I know as parents, we can get so caught up just dealing with the children's needs. What about your own? Freeing yourself up a little bit to have some time for you. Week 4, we go into the new moon, and you have the 8 of Cups. This is your second 8 of Cups. You had it up here also. This is called Gravel Root. 8 of Cups, kind of setting sail, just stepping away for a little while. I thought it was going to be Justice again. It's the 5 of Cups. Okay, so I feel like you have like a little bit of guilt about taking some time for yourself. A little bit of, there's some sadness here, maybe some things that didn't work out. but there's still 2 cups standing there. There's still something there for you, okay? So kind of just takes a little bit of time for yourself that 4th week. Things can get moody. Spend some time alone. Do something that you like. Maybe you just go out in the water by yourself safely and enjoy. Think your own thoughts and not just living for everyone else, okay? And while you're out there, maybe you can sing a little. Okay, let's roll some dice. You got South Node, Leo, 10th house. So South Node is that cup that holds everything that ever happened to you in the sign of Leo, the heart, the joy. 10th house has to do with the foundation of your life. It's Saturn's house. Also has to do with work. So maybe South Node, everything you've always done. Leo, how about I choose what my heart wants? 10th house, this is how it's always been done. But the point of it is to choose healthy and wisely for yourself, finding that balance, not just pleasing everyone else. Sometimes Libra, that Justice card, can be people pleasing, and you have to start to please yourself. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple oracle cards in general. This is from the Relative Oracle, and we're going to pick a couple of these, a couple more themes for you for this month, this beautiful month. And you have conflict, opportunity. It's like your ship's coming in. And conscientious. Okay, so yes, life is full of conflict, but you have an opportunity and you need to look up to be able to see that opportunity. It's easy to see the conflict. Choose the opportunity. Be conscientious of tending to the thoughts that you're thinking in a healthier, happier way that is kinder to yourself, okay? So I'm going to do a few charms over here. We're going to throw them on this July calendar. Let's see, let's do a couple more. And some letters. First, I see the initials VT, Vermont, and GA for Georgia. And see what else we've got. I've got the word clear, C-L-E-A-R, and the word gain, G-A-I-N, a clear gain, and the word, I've got a blank, so I'm going to make the word prime clear gain. Got the letter N floating around here. We'll leave that over there. Okay, and then for your charms, I'm going to take a picture so you can see it. So on the 4th of July, you've got this Mother Mary figure, okay? So more mom energy, more divine feminine energy, intuitive energy, okay? I have the letter X on the 6th along with the word her. So maybe an X, maybe one of your X is showing up, or maybe someone needs to be kind of stopped, okay? A woman on the 6th. I have a little dog tag, a lot of stuff on the 7th. I've got a guitar, a little peace sign on the 7th, along with the citrine, okay? Citrine is very good for bringing money in. So a lot of activity between the 6th and 7th. On the 9th, you've got this big chunk of labradorite, the stone of magic. On the 14th, you also have a big sun along with the charm for Cancer. So we know the sun is in Cancer then on the 14th. Looks like a great day to just have fun, go swimming, enjoy the summer season. On the 18th, we have, let's see, a little symbol for Sagittarius. 18th, that could be travel. The 22nd, we have the number 3. And on the 28th, you have this little star, okay? So it looks like your busiest days of the month are the 6th, 7th. The whole week of the 4th of July looks like a pretty solid week. The 14th looks like a day that you might really want to take out to do something fun and nurturing for yourself. And then little scattered activity between the 18th, 22nd, and 28th. Your words are prime, clear, gain, the initials Vermont and Georgia. And what did I miss? I'm missing something. Oh, I guess I did it all. Did I do everything? Yeah, I did your oracles, did that. Well, have a great month ahead.